What is going on, LEGO Maniacs? It's ZacAtk for ZacAtk Bricks back again with a video for you guys. Today, let's talk about LEGO finances, in particular, your finances when buying LEGO. So, LEGO has become an increasingly expensive hobby, and if you know what I mean, be sure and smash that like button, subscribe for more videos, because I post videos every Monday, and we need to talk about this, because LEGO is one of those things where it is a exceptional hobby, and it's very, very fun. However, it is very, very expensive. So let's go ahead and talk about the expenses of LEGO and how to be smart with your funds and how not to fall into a pitfall of a large amount of debt or burning away your financial stability and savings. So I want to go ahead and preference that I'm not a financial expert. However, I am frugal and I am very financially stable, and I try my best to be smart with my money. I was taught by a very, very frugal man and a very, very cheap man at times, my father, and we lived pinching pennies because of the recession back then and because of him losing his job. So I was taught how to stretch a dollar very, very far. So with that being said, let's just talk about everything with LEGO and finances. So in the last couple of years, inflation has caused LEGO to go up in price, and LEGO has done several things in order to cut costs and to also preserve their bottom line, their bottom dollar, to turn as much profit as they can, especially with the current climate of the inflation and potential looming recession because of the administration presently. So, with all that being said, we have a handful of things we need to talk about when being smart with your LEGO money. And I do apologize if this video does get a bit political, but we have to talk about everything that encompasses money and whatnot. So unfortunately, that can be a dicey subject. So I asked you bear with me and to just kind of listen before you jump to conclusions. So with inflation and whatnot, LEGO has gone up in price significantly, approximately 30%. And within the last 5 years, we've seen a huge increase in LEGO pricing. And a good measuring stick for a decent deal on a LEGO set is the 10-cent per piece part to price ratio, which unfortunately now does not mean anything. It is completely out the window. Sets that were $30 a few years ago are now $50. Sets that were $100 are now $170. It just and the parts are going down, and I know that's a gross comparison between a 5-year span, but let's be real here. The cost of making a brick hasn't really changed. The technology really hasn't changed. I dare say the technology for creating LEGO bricks has probably been the same for probably about 20 years, and so we have all these things to account for. And obviously there are a ton of other factors that we can talk about, with obviously paying their employees, marketing, shipping, all that fun jazz. All these things go into account for the price of LEGO. Now, with all that kind of tapped on here in this video, let's go ahead and talk about the main thing, and that is being smart with your money and being smart with making your LEGO investments. And I'm not going to be tapping on more of buying LEGO to invest in and then turn around and flip a profit. I mean the investment of fun and your mental health. Now, for a lot of people, LEGO is an escape. It is great for their mental health. It is a coping mechanism. It is the way how they help themselves. And sometimes you can't put a price on happiness, but you also have to be logical with your finances and with your happiness and be able to make the smart decision of like, all right, cool. I've spent this much money. I probably shouldn't, and I won't. Now, the main thing is with LEGO is it is a release of endorphins. It is a release of happiness. And there are a lot of things we need to take into account for when we buy LEGO. So when we're shopping online, it's a little bit different from in-store, because in-store you don't have the in-store experience you do online. And so you don't really have the factors coming into play of the money you are about to spend. And I'll give you a brief scenario here. When you're online, let's just say you're on Amazon or Lego.com, you add something to your cart. That is the boost, that is the happiness, the excitement of purchasing this thing. You go to checkout, you check out. Now, in some instances online, it's just one click and you're done. Versus with like Lego, they make you choose your payment options. You know, we don't really have a defaulted payment option, so you do have that bit of a feeling like, okay, I'm about to spend this money, but it's okay, or maybe I really shouldn't be spending this money, but I'm going to anyways. And so you have these feelings you take into account. And then you get the Lego set. There's the excitement, the anticipation of waiting for it to be shipped and delivered to your home, and then you build it. There's that excitement there. You know, a couple hours you're building it. You put it in your city. You put it on your shelf. You get to admire it. You know, you get to handle it and whatnot. But then comes the downhill roll where you level out, and you're like, well, what now? And so that happiness kind of teeters out a little bit. And the similar experience with the store. You go to the store with the anticipation of going to the store, find a cool Lego set, and then you go and you get to hold the box, you get to look at it, you get to have that in-store physical experience of buying the Lego set. You get to look at it, you get to look at the back, the front, you look at the price, like, oh, okay, it's kind of expensive, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. Say anything with online. Then you go to the checkout, and it's more of a physical thing because you're physically having to open up your wallet and physically having to actually pay for it using cash or card or whatnot. So that adds up. That can build up, whether you do it online or whether you do it in store. For those of you who do it in store, especially the Lego store, I'm jelly, but I'm happy for you. And so that's the challenge. That's the challenge of, all right, making that smart decision here and there, looking at your finances, having a good handle on your finances, and saying, all right, cool, I can do this. It'll be all right. And personally, if you say, maybe I shouldn't do this, then maybe you should listen to the voice of be smart. Now, I know money isn't everything. You can't put a value on happiness. We don't live forever. Sometimes you have to live in the moment. You have to act spontaneously. Life isn't all about us bottling things up and being like, okay, what if something bad happens? At the same time, though, we do have to be responsible. And so, with all that being said, the best thing that you can do with your Lego finances, obviously, is to make plans and whatnot. And I'm going to use myself as an example, and I want to use myself, for example, for the reason why, because I want to be able to essentially save someone from making a dumb decision like I did this summer. So this summer, I have been incredibly happy, and it hasn't just been because of Lego. My happiness has been on a level that I didn't think was possible, and it's almost been like a dream. And it would be a very cruel dream if I woke up from it. But I've been very happy. And normally when the last couple of years, I've just been, kind of in my bubble. I really haven't done too much. I'll do stuff here and there, and I'll just kind of go through the motions, right? This year's been a little different. I've been able to feel and experience, and I've wanted to feed those feelings, keep those feelings going, because in my mind they're going to dry up soon. Like they're going to be taken away from me, right? That's just how my brain works. And so with Lego, it's been a fuel to the fire of joy and happiness. And I've constantly wanted to feed that fuel. Thing is, though, I really wasn't paying attention to my finances, and that's where a lot of this kind of gets undone because I wasn't smart with my money. And so, anyways, I caught myself before things got out of control and got really bad, and I was like, whoa, what are you doing? This isn't like you. Obviously, be happy, be joyous, just be you, right? Thing is, though, money's one of those necessary evils in this world where it's a finite resource based upon your employment and whatnot. And there's a lot of other defining things that will make this conversation way more political than it already is with money. So, anyways, I had to stop and look at myself. All right, cool. You got a little too crazy to cheese whiz. And this year, my Lego budget, I'm personally $3,000 for Lego. I'm like, whoa. That's a rough estimate of how much I spent, and I'm not gloating by any means. I'm just giving a rough estimate of what I think I've spent. And anyways, I look at all that and I said, okay, that's not exactly okay. Now, granted, there are tools that we can use in order to fund this hobby, in order to pay it off. Personally, I use PayPal Credit because they have no interest if you pay it off in 6 months, and that allows me to make bigger purchases to do more things, especially like with the Lego City or whatnot. And I'm not one of those creators who are fortunate to be in Lego's main focus, in their eye of people who are brand ambassadors who essentially they send sets to review for free, and I'm not one of those people. Would I like to be one of those people? Absolutely. Do I aspire for that? Yeah, sure. If it doesn't happen, is it a deal breaker? No. I enjoy Lego and it's fun for me, and I'm happy to find joy in this hobby, and I'm happy to have a space for it and all that, and all those things, that allow me to enjoy Lego. Maybe one day that'll happen. Maybe it won't. Either way, I'm fine. But with all that being said, a lot of the brunt of that Lego has of their expenses do fall back on us, and that includes in the pricing. And so 5 years ago, Lego was definitely more palpable, more affordable, and a lot of the larger sets they're coming out with, especially like the UCSL barge, that prices out so many people in the Lego hobby, and it's honestly very heartbreaking because you want people to be able to enjoy this hobby and be able to enjoy the feelings, the good feelings that you get from being able to build and to escape. And I know recently Lego has been focusing more on adults, but kids build Lego too. I mean, kids, I would dare say, are probably 55% of Lego's market cap, and it has grown immensely, especially with myself and my fellow millennials, and of course some of my Gen X people who love Lego and whatnot. So it's just one of those things where Lego has gotten so expensive that it's pricing people out of the hobby to where they have to choose between groceries or a Lego set. And it's a sad commentary, but it is true. But again, that's just one of the things that falls back on us consumers, to where we have to be smart with our money. And and of course the stress and pressure of a set's going to retire, you better get it before it goes away forever, or you have to face the brutal aftermarket that unfortunately is a thing. And it's one of those things we have to face and take into account for with our finances. So what I have done personally is I have put together a spreadsheet of a plan to allow myself to be able to purchase Lego, and down the road, if this channel takes off and if I'm able to monetize it, then yes, I would kind of treat it like a business, but it's going to be a fun business where I have fun, to where I can expense certain things. But for now, I'm just a creator who's just wanting to share my passion for Lego with all of you guys, and that will remain the same if I ever got monetized. And if I do, fantastic. If I don't, that's cool too. I'm still going to make videos because it's fun for me. But the smart thing is to be smart with your finances, to be smart with making a plan of like, all right, cool, this month I'm going to allow X amount of dollars. And whether you do an Excel spreadsheet, or whether you do a dry erase board or a wish list board or whatnot, to where you can keep track of what you're spending or how much something is going to cost. And I definitely implore you to focus more on the price of the set as opposed to the set itself and what it's going to do for either your collection or your city or whatnot. I definitely implore you to focus more on the price as opposed to the actual set itself. That way you know in the back of your mind, all right, cool, this is how much this is going to cost, and this is how much it's going to set me back, and do I have the room in my finances, this flexibility to do that? Now, not everyone is going to be blessed to be able to spend $3,000 on Lego. Not everyone has that type of budget. We all have our own financial means, and we all are paid differently. So we can't really base our financial decisions off of someone else. And I know it's so easy to live vicariously through someone else. Personally, I watch Brixie's YouTube channel. I really enjoy his content, and I see the amazing Lego city that he's made and that new warehouse building he has. And for me personally, I know I'll never get that big. Would I like to? A goal to aspire to? Sure. Realistically, I'd just be happy for a garage, a big garage. I think that'd be plenty, but that's like 20 years down the road type thing, if that ever happens, So, living vicariously through someone, or whether you guys live vicariously through me, which, I'm just your humble guy. I'm just your average bean. So what I do is I like to think is modest, especially if the size of the room I'm in for the Lego City and whatnot. So when you look at the overall big picture, I think that the biggest thing to consider is your bills come first. Your main financial obligations need to come first. Your mortgage, your rent, or whatever, your utilities, your gas, your groceries, or your pet food, or whatever have you. Any other miscellaneous bills or things you have to take care of. Definitely take care of those first. And while I don't want to discourage people from buying Lego, is because that's their main hobby or their main source, or one of their main sources of expressing themselves and decompressing, de-stressing and whatnot, coping and being able to bring joy to yourself. And it's different for everyone, like people do video games, people do model building, working on cars, whatnot. Just Lego is just the main thing here, obviously for us, because it's a Lego channel, right? And I think the main thing that you really need to focus on is obviously your financial freedom and stability. And obviously, if you have extra money at the end of the month, great, save it. And if you want to buy Lego, then maybe split that leftover in half into savings, half for Lego. And obviously, don't buy Lego every month. If you can't afford it, or if you feel better with putting money to the side, definitely get your savings account going. Just be able to have a fallback, and I'll give you a great example of why having a savings account to fall back on is very, very important, and not why you shouldn't just blow all your money on Lego. Obviously, Lego would love that because that helps their bottom line. But for example, this earlier in the year, back in January, we had a huge snowstorm, ice storm, which is very, very rare for the South. And I had a skylight in my master bathroom. And anyways, the ice had broken the aluminum flashing around the skylight, and it leaked all in the bathroom and ruined the ceiling and the walls and whatnot. And my insurance said, well, that's more of a warrantyable item, and even though your walls are ruined and the insulation's gone, we're not going to pay for it. I was on the hook for nearly $6,000, and I had to pay for it out of pocket because my insurance screwed me. And that is a fantastic reason why you should have a fallback, because anything can happen. And I'm not trying to paint a picture of doom and gloom from you guys. Absolutely not. I'm just trying to paint a scenario here of that could have been your car. That could have been your dog. Leia this summer, she got a severe infection in her stomach, and the emergency vet, that was $3,000. That could have been $3,000 plus dollars, And if it wasn't for savings, I wouldn't have been able to afford that, and they wouldn't have cared for Leia. They would have just said, well, so sorry, but we're going to send you on your way because, you can't afford us. So, and that's just one of those things where savings comes into play. And obviously, if you have a dedicated savings, just for stuff like that, fantastic. And if you want to make another one for Lego to where you can, splurge at the end of that save cycle when you saved it for the set, go for it. By all means, go for it. Enjoy your hobby, play, do your thing. And a lot of people too, I know a lot of people use this as a business, and for me personally, I'm not going to really cover that in this video. If you ever want to talk about that, leave a comment section down below, talking about Lego business. If you have any ideas, or if you have any suggestions of stuff you want to talk about in order to kind of build for your Lego expenses, I guess, and please leave your suggestions in the comment section down below. I'll be more than happy to talk about it in my video. And again, I am not an expert when it comes to finances or Lego. I'm just your humble, modest, everyday Lego builder guy who does the 9-to-5 grind and just lives life like everyone else. So again, not an expert in this field, in the field of Lego investing. My position is more of, don't make a dumb move like I did, where you spent a little too much money this year, and be more smart with your funds, plan things out, stuff like that. And obviously with Lego getting more expensive, and it's honestly pricing people out of the hobby. I really do feel like that Lego is getting to a point to where they're getting a little too big for their britches, and unfortunately there's no competition in order to stifle them from getting too big for their britches. You have companies like WeBrick and Mega Bloks, but they're really not competition to Lego, because Lego knows they have a hardcore dedicated fan base that are very pure in the sense of they're not going to mix and match Lego with these other knockoff products, or I'm sorry, compatible products. I don't want to say knockoff because I don't think they have the patent for the Lego brick. It's just the name brand of Lego that just really commands a presence in the toy industry, So they know that, and they take advantage of that, and that's not really a cool thing, but they can do it, and they're going to do it. And that's just something that we have to take an account for. And obviously, with Lego scaling back certain things and potentially getting rid of paper and whatnot, that's going to cause another expense to fall on the consumer. And that is either, all right, cool, you're either going to go out and buy a tablet, which, it's like $1,000 for a decent tablet that'll last you for 8 years or so. Or Lego's going to release their own tablet that's just going to do the one thing where it's just going to hold the instructions and it'll update, and probably eventually it'll be a I don't know, a $200 tablet that'll probably last for 5 years, and then we have a new one that's bigger, and it can store more things and has other applications built into it for advanced building or whatnot. I have no idea, but I'm just speculating here. But these are all things that are eventually going to fall on the consumer that we all have to account for when we're buying Lego. And while I would say it is a sad thing, it's just definitely a thing you have to keep in the back of your mind of, Legos, eventually will price people out, and they'll lose that market share, and those people will unfortunately, be priced out of the hobby, and that sucks. And quite frankly, I'm very against that. I'm very against Lego raising their prices like they have, and I do think some accountability needs to be highly expressed by the Lego fan base, because not everyone can fork over the amount of money that a lot of creators have for Lego. And for me, example, I shouldn't have forked over $3,000. I should have stopped at like $2,000, and that would have been plenty for all of this year. But again, that was where I was being dumb, and I'm using myself as an example here, guys. Don't be dumb like me. Be smart and make a plan. Make a financial plan for your Lego investment and for your investment and your joy and your fun, to where you still feel safe and happy and stable at the end of the day when everything is all said and done. So just things to all keep in the back of your mind when you're buying Lego. And again, we can continue on the subject, and we can continue talking about this. And, obviously I would love for some awareness to be spread with Lego and their pricing. I feel like they don't see it yet. And I feel like if they did, then these UCS sets wouldn't be so insanely expensive. And their other more modest sets, like Lego City sets, would be a whole lot less, because it is a generic theme that they own, versus a licensed theme like Harry Potter or Lego Star Wars, which Lego Star Wars has gotten insanely expensive. It's almost frustrating. I mean, it is very frustrating, but it's also there's so much we can talk about the expenses that Lego has really changed. And it's the stress of, well, if you want it, you better get it now before it's gone, because it's going to retire eventually. And that's just a lot of things we have to make peace with. I mean, for me, if I don't get the UCS Millennium Falcon, I'm at peace with that. Would I absolutely love that set? 100%. I would love the UCS Millennium Falcon. That would be such a cool set. Just to have, and I would just really enjoy it, just the build, be able to display it, and just really enjoy, that long build experience. But I've made peace with the fact that I'm not going to probably ever own that set, and that's okay. And that's just one thing we all have to adapt to as well, with certain sets, that it's going to retire and we're not going to be able to get it. And by no means would I encourage anyone to go buy something aftermarket on the Lego aftermarket when something's retired, because those sellers, they're full-blown taking advantage of you. And don't feed into that system. Just don't. Be smart with your money. Anyways, I think this would be a good point to cap off here. If there's anything I didn't cover and you'd like me to talk about in a future video, please comment down below in the comment section down below. We'll have a good discussion about it, and and I just hope that I've spread awareness with being smart with your Lego money, and to obviously not be dumb like me. I'm not saying I'm dumb all the time, but I definitely make dumb mistakes every once in a while. I'm not immune. I'm a human. I'm imperfect, but just be smart with the Lego money and just make plans. Plan things out. Have a list, spreadsheet, whatever have you, whatever works for you to help you be able to afford the Lego, but not be stressed about buying the Lego because of your finances. Just keep all those things in mind. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, be sure and smash that like button, subscribe for more ZacAtk Bricks videos. I post videos every Monday. And of course, next time, we're going to continue some more building. I have some parts here from my pick-a-brick order from way earlier in the summer, so I'm going to be building that pretty soon, and some other cool stuff I want to work on for the Lego City. And as you can see behind me, I've changed the layout just a little bit, and I plan on adding a little bit to it here within the next couple of months, probably next year when I add some more tables and whatnot, but we'll talk about that then. Anyways, you guys have a fantastic rest of your week. Until then, friends, keep building, and I'll see you in the next video.